Hi there, this is Dr. Maria with Basmati.com and Milo and Finch clicking around in the background. I am an herbalist and microbiologist here with our herb of the week. And actually, it's not an herb this week, it's a mushroom. I'm going to talk about Enoki Mushroom, known in Japan as Enoki Take. And so you might not think you're familiar with this mushroom, but you might be because it's commonly found in grocery stores. It's long and thin, at least the cultivated version, and white with a tiny little cap on top, about yay long, and really tasty, great in things like stir fries and soups and such. And so Enoki Take in Japan. Take in Japan means mushroom, Take. So maitake, shiitake. And so again, this is a mushroom that you can find in the wild if you live in the proper part of the world, but we can find it here in the grocery store. And Flammulina is the genus name or the botanical name. And so very, like any mushroom that's edible, very nutrient rich. So it's going to have a wealth of vitamins and minerals in it. So not only does it taste good, but it's a great addition to your diet. It's a good source of dietary fiber. And it has, like many other mushrooms, not only a long tradition of food use, but also a long tradition of medicinal uses. I'm just adjusting that a little bit. And so, traditionally speaking, in Asia, for instance, this mushroom was used as a liver tonic. It was used for liver support and also used for the gastrointestinal tract, specifically to help with ulcers, to help with the body's own ability to heal those. The polysaccharide, wow, Finch is really making a mess over there. If you hear a bunch of noise in the background, that's my 7-pound chihuahua, noisiest animal on the planet. Anyway, the polysaccharides that this mushroom contains are immunoactive, just like the polysaccharides in other mushrooms. And so, Enoki polysaccharides, there are some that enhance the activity of cells known as natural killer cells or NK cells. NK cells are important for a variety of things. One of their jobs is to do surveillance in the body, looking for cancer cells or for abnormally dividing cells and go at them. NK cells are also important in infection, but they can also potentially be involved in not so great reactions. There's some women that might have fertility issues, for instance, because their NK cells are getting a little carried away. But anyway, the polysaccharides of this mushroom help modulate NK cell function and also macrophage activity. Macrophage is another component of the so-called innate immune system. It's our immune system that's the first line of defense against things like tumor cells and infection. It acts immediately, even without having met a microbe before. And so macrophages are an important part of that defense, and they go after things like invading bacteria, for instance, and make a whole range of immune chemicals to help protect us. So immune system functions here with this mushroom. And generally, when you see a mushroom that is enhancing the ability of our immune system to function properly, they often have anti-tumor properties as well. And so this mushroom can kill cancer cells in addition. Whether that's relevant to the reality of cancer in a person remains to be seen, but it's for those of us who have studied cancer drugs, that is one of the first things we do, is look at whether it does anything to tumor cells in addition. Does it leave, quote, normal cells alone in a dish? Also, although I'm not a fan of animal studies, this mushroom will kill or shrink tumors in rodents pretty significantly. And this kind of stuff always drives me crazy because there's a lot of really exciting data on medicinal mushrooms and anti-cancer effects in animals that are actually quite impressive. And they're not really being looked at least here in the West, as therapy. So there you go. There's a lot of reasons behind that with respect to patenting and things like that, I suppose. But they are being studied elsewhere in the world. Anyway, some other activities of Enoki mushroom: healthy blood lipid regulation. So we're talking about proper regulation of cholesterol and triglycerides in the blood, healthy blood sugar regulation. And so this mushroom can help people that are maybe sliding into some metabolic issues. You would, of course, look at what you're eating and how you're living as well. The mushroom's not going to save you if you're living on junk food, but it can be a great part of a broader approach to dealing with healthy metabolism. This mushroom also lowers blood pressure to some extent, and it's a pretty strong antioxidant. A lot of people don't realize that mushrooms tend to be strongly antioxidant, and sometimes even stronger than those famous vegetables like carrots. My hands are glowing from the sun. And so Enoki mushroom has a bunch of antioxidant polyphenols like quercetin and catechin and gallic acid ester and caffeic acid ester. So these last three are things you also see in green tea and other plants as well. Now, one caution you may see about this mushroom online is that it has a cardiotoxin in it. That's a heart toxin, and indeed it does. However, and it's called flamutoxin, originally enough, for the name of the mushroom, it's destroyed by heat quite easily. So you should always cook your mushrooms anyway. The vast majority of the mushrooms you want to eat cooked. And this one, 100 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes is enough to inactivate this toxin. Another study looked at 140 degrees Fahrenheit for just 5 minutes. So honestly, when you're cooking something on the stove or roasting it, your temperatures are getting way higher than that. So it's not an issue when it's cooked, but you wouldn't eat this mushroom raw. And with that, that is Enoki mushroom. So the next time you see those skinny little white mushrooms with the tiny little baby pincushion caps, give them a try. They're really delicious and they're very good for you. And so until next time, be well.